South Sudan, officially known as the Republic of South Sudan, is a landlocked country in Central Africa. It gained independence from Sudan in 2011 after years of unrest, making it the most recent sovereign state or country with widespread recognition as of 2022. South Sudan is a beautiful country with abundance and diversity, with 64 tribes and numerous linguistics. Resourcefully, South Sudan is a very rich country blessed with abundance in petroleum, iron ore, copper, chromium ore, zinc, gold and hydropower. South Sudan ranks third in oil reserves in sub-Saharan Africa, only behind Angola and Nigeria, with roughly 3.5 billion barrels produced annually. Still, 90% of the gas and oil reserves are untapped, and the government says it is working to increase non-oil revenues to reduce dependency on oil revenues. South Sudan produces roughly 150,000 to 170,000 barrels a day. But because of the share owed to oil companies and fees paid to Sudan, it earns income from 45,000 barrels at most, according to the best estimates available. Agriculture in South Sudan largely remains at subsistence level, with average field sizes of 2 acres per household, crop yields being very low, hardly 1 ton per acre due to use of poor quality seeds, tools and agronomic practices. The same applies to the livestock and fisheries sectors. The private sector, which could play an important role in agriculture by including farmers in value chains, needs to be rebuilt. Low levels of production in combination with the past hostilities and poor governance have led to a large part of the population being food insecure and experiencing unbalanced diets. In this video, we bring you reasons for South Sudan's poor economy and deteriorating patterns despite abundance in natural resources. One, corruption. Corruption in South Sudan is among the worst in the world. The nation's elites have developed a kleptocratic system that controls every part of the South Sudanese economy. This system has taken shape quickly in a relatively short period, South Sudan having won self-rule in 2005 while remaining part of Sudan, and having been accorded full sovereignty in 2011. The nation was ranked last on Transparency International's 2021 Corruption Perception Index, which ranks 180 countries by their perceived level of public sector corruption. A report by the Sentry categorizes corruption in South Sudan in a slightly different way, identifying the following 4 main methods the nation's wealth is diverted into the pockets of elites. The extractive sector, the nation's largest revenue source, which lacks any transparency and is completely mismanaged. Oil is the government's main source of hard currency, and serves as collateral for the foreign loans that keep its economy afloat. State spending, which involves a procurement system that is susceptible to corruption and waste, with lucrative contracts regularly awarded to the suppliers connected to government officials. Nearly every public institution is crippled by corruption and mismanagement. The country is yet to put together a reasonable national budget. 2. Inflation. The inflation rate for consumer prices in South Sudan moved over the past 11 years between -0.1% and 380%. For 2020, an inflation rate of 29.7% was calculated. During the observation period from 2009 to 2020, the average inflation rate was 83.7% per year. Overall, the price increase was 21,596.15%. A few years back, South Sudanese pound was one of the strongest currencies in Africa, however it lost value against the United States dollar. In the last few years, South Sudan has changed its currencies a few times. The immediate impact of the depreciation of the SSP was an increase in prices of food commodities, leading to high cost of food basket to meet daily energy requirements, specifically in urban areas. The reason for the fall of the pound at the time was attributed to inflation together with black market. Until today, the pound is yet to recover. 3. Poor infrastructure. The conflict, falling oil revenues and rapidly depreciating currency have further exacerbated economic hardships in South Sudan. Conflict has blocked the path towards inclusive and sustainable growth, built on a diversified economy that would create employment and livelihoods for the poor and war-affected populations. Although landlocked, the country does not lack for access to potential trade routes and markets for its commodity exports. However, poor infrastructure, particularly roads, is a major stumbling block to growth of the economy. South Sudan has not yet moved toward a road investment strategy that results in a strong network of trunk, secondary and local access roads. Last year, the construction of Juba Bar El Ghazal Road stalled after initial works were interrupted by a heavy downpour in Juba, washing away the foundation that had been set precedent by a Chinese firm undertaking the construction. The works are rumored to have resumed this. Over the years, China has been supporting the infrastructure development in South Sudan. For lack of access to finance and investment. Access to finance is a major constraint to economic growth in South Sudan, where only about 2% of the population has access to formal financial services, and access to banking services outside Juba is very limited. The investment climate in South Sudan is not conducive, mainly due to insecurity, lack of infrastructure, lack of access to long-term, low-cost financing for the shortage of skilled labor compared to the rest of the region, and poor corporate governance, which weighs on the public and private sectors. Recently, some regional development finance institutions have been introduced in South Sudan, for example African Trade Insurance Agency, ATI, and Eastern and Southern African Trade and Development Bank, TDB, as country membership programs. The present project aims to strengthen South Sudan's capacity by providing the financial resources necessary to join the Trade and Development Bank, TDB, and the Africa Trade Insurance Agency, ITA, to be able to mobilize a significant amount of foreign direct investment, FDI, while providing greater insurance coverage for the public and private sectors to support its economic recovery efforts. Some strides have been made as well to strengthen the economy of the country within the East African region, for example the LAPSET project. The LAPSET Corridor program is Eastern Africa's largest and most ambitious infrastructure project, bringing together Kenya, Ethiopia, and South Sudan. The construction of LAPSET's main components, ports, pipelines, roads, railways, is currently ongoing, with construction of the first berth at Lamu Port completed in October 2019.